you ever catch yourself reminiscing about the golden days, wondering if today's generation truly grasps the magic we baby boomers grew up with? Whether you're reliving those cherished moments or discovering them for the first time, you're about to embark on a fascinating journey through the past. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this nostalgic trip down memory lane. Let's start off with number 30. Using a traveler's check. Before the convenience of credit cards, traveler's checks were the go-to solution for secure spending abroad. A pre-trip visit to the bank equipped travelers with these checks, which were signed at purchase and again at use to ensure security. Unlike cash, lost travelers' checks could be replaced, offering peace of mind during adventures. For baby boomers exploring new destinations, these checks were essential, bridging the gap between cash and modern banking. As technology evolved, ATMs and digital payments rendered them nearly obsolete. Today, they're a relic of a different era, reminding us of the careful planning once required for travel. Number 29. Talking to an operator. Making a phone call in the early 20th century wasn't as simple as dialing a number. It required the assistance of a telephone operator. These professionals, often women, manually connected calls by plugging cords into a switchboard. Operators didn't just route calls. They provided directory assistance, connected businesses, and even facilitated long-distance conversations. Their role was essential in bringing telecommunication into everyday life, revolutionizing how people stayed connected. For baby boomers, the operator was a friendly, human intermediary in a time before automated systems. While now, with just a touch of a button, we can make a call to anyone in the world, the memories of talking to an operator will always hold a special place in our hearts. Number 28. Rotary dial phones. The iconic rotary dial phone wasn't just a device, it was a hands-on experience. Its distinct clicking sound as the dial spun back was oddly satisfying, making each call feel intentional. These sturdy machines, made of metal or plastic, were the lifeline of homes and businesses. From connecting families to facilitating long-distance love stories, they played a pivotal role in communication during the mid-20th century. Unlike today's instant caller ID, answering a rotary phone call was a mystery. You never knew who'd be on the other end. Though replaced by push-button models and smartphones, the rotary dial evokes nostalgia for a simpler time when making a call requires patience and precision. It's a relic that reminds us of the tactile charm of yesterday's technology. Number 27. Postcards. Before emails and instant messaging, postcards were the heartwarming bridge between loved ones across distances. For baby boomers, receiving a postcard meant more than just mail. It was a glimpse into someone's life, an adventure shared through handwritten notes and colorful images. Whether it was a "wish you were here" from a beach vacation or a heartfelt "thinking of you," these small pieces of paper carried big emotions. Checking the mailbox for a postcard was a daily thrill, a tangible connection to someone far away. Unlike today's instant communication, postcards carried a sense of anticipation and effort. Each one told a story, creating lasting memories. While they've faded in popularity, postcards remain a nostalgic reminder of the beauty of personal, thoughtful correspondence. Number 26. Fax machines. The hum and beep of a fax machine were once the soundtrack of communication. Long before email and cloud sharing, fax machines revolutionized document transmission, making it possible to send pages across distances in minutes. For baby boomers, they were a marvel of technology, vital in offices and even homes. Yet, they came with quirks, paper jams, fading ink, and the frustration of failed transmissions. Despite the challenges, the fax machine was indispensable, bridging the gap between letters and digital communication. Businesses thrived on its reliability, and personal use wasn't uncommon. Today, standalone fax machines are rare, replaced by multifunction printers and online fax services. Still, the nostalgia of those buzzing, whirring machines lingers as a reminder of the analog era's charm and innovation. Number 25. Soda fountains. Imagine walking into a lively soda fountain, the air buzzing with conversation and the clinking of glasses. For baby boomers, soda fountains were more than places to grab a drink. They were the heartbeat of the community. Friends met to share milkshakes, couples bonded over ice cream sundaes, and locals caught up on neighborhood happenings. These spots were vibrant social hubs where every sip of a fizzy soda came with a side of laughter and connection. The experience wasn't just about the drinks. It was about creating memories. Sharing a root beer float with a friend or savoring a creamy malt was a cherished ritual. Though these beloved establishments are rare now, their legacy remains a sweet reminder of simpler, more connected times. Number 24. Jell-O dishes. In the 1950s, these gelatin creations were more than desserts. They were edible art. Baby boomers remember them as colorful centerpieces at every potluck and family dinner, molded into elaborate shapes and often filled with surprises. Think vegetables and shrimp. Despite some questionable combinations, Jell-O embodied post-war optimism, with advertisements touting it as the pinnacle of modern culinary innovation. Its origins, however, trace back centuries to labor-intensive jelly dishes reserved for royalty. By the 20th century, Jell-O became a household staple, celebrated for its affordability and versatility. Whether served as a salad, dessert, or questionable main dish, it was a symbol of the era's experimental spirit. Today, Jell-O may be a nostalgic relic, but it still brings smiles and a touch of humor to the table. Number 23. Five and dime stores. Five and dime stores were the heart and soul of small-town America. For baby boomers, these charming shops offered more than just affordable goods. They were a place where communities connected. Whether you need a shiny new toy, a sweet treat for a dime, or a household essential, stores like Woolworth's have it all. The aisles buzzed with kids spending their allowances and neighbors catching up. These shops made even the simplest errands feel like an adventure. Beyond their affordability, they embodied a spirit of accessibility and inclusion. However, as retail giants emerged and online shopping took over, the five and dime stores began to disappear. Their closure marked the end of an era, but for those who grew up with them, they remain cherished memories of a simpler, more personal time. Number 22. Typewriters. The typewriter was more than a tool. It was an art form that demanded precision. From the rhythmic clacking of keys to the distinct ding signaling the end of a line, typewriters transformed the act of writing into an engaging ritual. Introduced in the 19th century, they became indispensable for students, writers, and businesses alike. Unlike modern computers with their effortless edits, typewriters left no room for error. Every keystroke mattered. This encouraged thoughtfulness, as one typo could mean starting over. By the 1980s, personal computers and word processors began to replace typewriters, relegating them to nostalgic keepsakes. Today, these mechanical marvels are cherished as symbols of creativity and dedication, a reminder of a time when words carried weight and the act of writing was deliberate and deeply personal. Number 21. Beatlemania. In 1964, the music world transformed forever when four iconic names, John, Paul, George, and Ringo, stepped onto the Ed Sullivan Show stage. The Beatles didn't just perform, they ignited a cultural phenomenon that reverberated across the globe. From New York to New Mexico, ecstatic teens screamed in pure joy, their excitement marking the birth of Beatlemania. For baby boomers, the Beatles weren't just a band. They were the soundtrack to their youth, influencing fashion, language, and even attitudes. Their hit songs like Let It Be and Hey Jude still resonate, transcending generations. That unforgettable debut on Sullivan's stage wasn't just a moment, it was a movement. Even today, their music unites people, proving that the Fab Four's magic is timeless and their legacy eternal. What do you think? Drop your comment below. Number 20, riding a banana seat bike. Cruising down the street on a banana seat bike was more than just a ride. It was an adventure. With high handlebars, small wheels, and that elongated, iconic seat, these bikes were the ultimate symbol of cool for baby boomers. They weren't just about style, they were about freedom, friendship, and fun. Adding baseball cards to the spokes created a thrilling motorcycle sound, elevating every ride into an epic journey. Whether racing down the block or simply exploring the neighborhood, these bikes brought a sense of independence and camaraderie. For boomers, they were a rite of passage, a treasured part of childhood. Though modern bikes are more advanced, the charm and joy of those banana seat rides remain a nostalgic hallmark of simpler, happier times. Number 19, print encyclopedias. Before Google, there were encyclopedias, hefty, multi-volume sets that sat proudly on bookshelves. These were the ultimate treasure troves of knowledge, answering everything from state capitals to historical trivia. Sold door to door, they were prized possessions for baby boomers, especially for students tackling school projects. Flipping through their pages required patience, yet it was oddly satisfying to uncover information manually. The arrival of home computers and, later, Wikipedia marked the end of these volumes dominating living rooms. Yet, for those who grew up with them, print encyclopedias represent an era of curiosity and dedication to learning. They weren't just books, they were gateways to the world, now standing as nostalgic relics of a time when answers came with the turn of a page, not a click. Number 18, milk delivery. Milk delivery was once a cherished morning ritual. In the 1960s, about 30% of milk reached homes via milkmen and sometimes milkwomen, who brought fresh bottles straight to the doorstep. These professionals didn't just deliver milk, they were familiar faces, part of the neighborhood's rhythm. Glass bottles were left outside, swapped for fresh ones in a seamless cycle of recycling long before it became trendy. However, as refrigeration improved and supermarkets expanded, home delivery faded. Families found convenience in buying milk at the store, and plastic containers replaced glass bottles. By the 1970s, milkmen were nearly extinct, their roots gone and their clinking glass bottles a nostalgic memory. Still, the tradition symbolizes a time of simplicity, community, and the joy of starting the day with fresh milk. Number 17, no 24/7 TV. Imagine a time when television had a bedtime. For baby boomers, this was a reality in the 1950s and 60s. TV stations signed off around midnight, often with a patriotic montage or simple music, and resumed broadcasting early in the morning. Between these hours, screens displayed a static-filled test pattern, a stark contrast to today's 24/7 streaming options. With only a few channels available, watching TV required deliberate choices. And yes, changing the channel meant physically getting up. The nightly sign-off was a signal to rest, a reminder of boundaries in an era before endless entertainment. While today's on-demand culture is convenient, there's something nostalgic about those quiet hours, a time when even television paused to give its audience and itself a break. Number 16, watching the first moon landing. On July 20th, 1969, the world paused as Neil Armstrong took humanity's first steps on the moon. For baby boomers, watching the Apollo 11 moon landing live was a surreal, unforgettable experience. Families gathered around grainy black and white TVs, eyes glued to the historic broadcast. Armstrong's words, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," echoed as a beacon of human achievement. The event wasn't just a technological triumph, It was a cultural milestone that inspired a generation to dream big. Today, while the moon landing lives on in documentaries and reenactments, nothing compares to the awe and collective pride of witnessing it live. For those who experienced it, the memory of that day will always remain vivid and cherished. Number 15. VCR. The VCR revolutionized how baby boomers experienced entertainment. Before its invention, catching a favorite TV show or movie meant tuning in live. No exceptions. Enter the video cassette recorder. Suddenly, viewers could record programs, rent movies, and watch them at their convenience. VCRs transformed living rooms into mini theaters, and renting tapes became a weekly ritual. The device's clunky design, flashing clock displays, and the "Be Kind, Rewind" mantra are now fond memories. For boomers, the VCR wasn't just a gadget. It represented newfound freedom in entertainment. Though DVDs and streaming have since taken over, the VCR era remains a nostalgic chapter in pop culture, reminding us of a time when planning, patience, and rewinding were all part of the movie's magic. All right, now, let's head over to number 14, drive-in movies. Remember when movie nights meant piling into the family car and heading to a drive-in theater? Back in the 1950s and 60s, drive-ins weren't just about watching films. They were magical gatherings under the stars. With massive outdoor screens surrounded by rows of cars, every visit felt like a mini adventure. Families shared laughs, couples cozied up, and friends bonded over popcorn and soda. Each car had its own speaker hooked onto the driver's window, delivering the movie's audio in crisp detail. It wasn't just entertainment. It was an unforgettable experience that combined privacy with community. Today, these enchanting places are a rarity, but for those who remember, drive-ins were more than theaters. They were the ultimate venue for nostalgia-filled, starry nights. Number 13. Phone books. Before Google put the world at our fingertips, there was the phone book, a hefty tome packed with pages of names and numbers. It was the ultimate directory, helping people connect with just a flip of the page. Finding someone's number could feel like a scavenger hunt, especially if their name wasn't too common. For baby boomers, phone books weren't just practical. They were part of everyday life. Whether it was finding a friend's number or a local business, flipping through the crisp pages was oddly satisfying. Today, phone books have mostly vanished, replaced by search engines and digital directories. But for those who remember, the thrill of discovery and the sense of connection from a simple book remain irreplaceable, a true relic of a more tangible, tactile time. Number 12. Setting the TV antenna. Before the age of streaming and endless channel options, there was the TV antenna, a contraption that turned watching television into an adventure. Finding the perfect spot for the antenna was a science of trial and error, with someone often perched precariously, adjusting it like a modern-day quest for the Holy Grail. Weather played its tricks, too. Rain or snow could turn a clear picture into a blur of static and thunderstorms. Forget it. Watching your favorite show during bad weather was a gamble at best. Still, the effort added charm to the experience. For baby boomers, setting the antenna wasn't just a task. It was a family ritual that tested patience, but left lasting memories of determination and the joy of finally getting that perfect signal. Number 11. Arcade games. Step into the buzzing world of arcade games, where baby boomers discovered camaraderie and thrilling challenges. The 1960s marked the rise of mechanical games, transitioning into electromechanical wonders that captivated players. Coins clinked, joysticks rattled, and high scores were badges of honor. Sega's Periscope, 1965, and Rifleman, 1967, brought immersive shooting experiences, while racing games like Indy 500, 1968, and Speedway, 1969, turned arcades into arenas of virtual competition. These dimly lit spaces weren't just about the games. They were social hubs where friends gathered and rivalries brewed. The arcades of the 1960s laid the foundation for a cultural phenomenon, paving the way for the iconic video games of the 1970s and beyond. For boomers, arcades were magical escapes, filled with pixelated memories and endless fun. Number 10. Watching I Love Lucy. Few shows can claim to have shaped an entire generation's evenings like I Love Lucy. Debuting in 1951, this trailblazing sitcom wasn't just a show, it was an event. Families huddled around black and white TVs, laughing at Lucille Ball's unmatched comedic timing and Ricky Ricardo's signature, "Ay, Dios mío." From Lucy's grape-stomping chaos to her hilarious chocolate factory mishap, every episode delivered pure joy. Beyond the laughs, the show was revolutionary, introducing the three-camera filming technique and breaking societal norms by portraying an interracial marriage. For baby boomers, I Love Lucy was more than entertainment. It was a shared cultural heartbeat. While modern streaming brings it to new audiences, the magic of catching it live, when the world collectively tuned in, remains a nostalgic treasure for those who experienced it firsthand. Number 9. Vinyl records. Vinyl records represent the golden age of music, a time when listening was an immersive ritual. For baby boomers, owning a record collection was a badge of pride, with each LP showcasing iconic cover art and liner notes. Dropping the needle onto a spinning vinyl wasn't just playing music. It was entering a world of warm, rich sound that digital files can never quite replicate. Yes, they came with quirks, dusty grooves and skipping needles, but those imperfections added to their charm. The resurgence of vinyl today isn't just a trend, it's a testament to its enduring appeal. For those who grew up with it, vinyl wasn't about convenience. It was about connection to the artist, the album, and the moments shared with friends as the record spun on. Number 8. Ham radios. Ham radios weren't just a tool for communication, they were a gateway to global exploration. For baby boomers, they offered the thrill of connecting with strangers in distant lands, powered by curiosity and a bit of technical know-how. Unlike today's curated social media, ham radio conversations were raw and unpredictable, with Morse code or voice crackling across the airwaves. Enthusiasts would spend hours tinkering with their equipment, adjusting antennas to reach further frequencies. Government regulations in the early 20th century may have confined ham users to specific bands, but it didn't dampen their spirit. Even during wartime restrictions, the community persisted, eager to reconnect. While ham radios may now be a niche hobby, they remain a symbol of ingenuity and a time when communication was an adventure in itself. Number 7. Cassette tapes. Cassette tapes weren't just a way to listen to music. They were a portal to self-expression and creativity. For baby boomers, they offered a tactile joy that today's streaming services can't replicate. Mixtapes became the ultimate love letters, with every song carefully chosen and recorded in real time. The act of flipping a tape mid-song or rewinding with a pencil was part of the charm. When Sony's Walkman burst onto the scene, it turned cassettes into personal companions, letting you take your favorite tunes anywhere. Unlike digital playlists, creating a mixtape was an art form, a gesture of thoughtfulness and effort. While cassettes have mostly faded into history, the thrill of hearing that satisfying click as the tape began to play remains timeless. Number 6. Jukeboxes. Jukeboxes were the vibrant soul of diners and hangouts in the 1950s and 60s, bringing music to life with the drop of a coin. Baby boomers fondly recall the glow of these machines, adorned with buttons and lights waiting to belt out the latest hits. Whether it was Elvis Presley or the Supremes, a jukebox transformed any space into a lively dance floor. These coin-operated marvels weren't just music players. They were social hubs where friends bonded over shared tunes and favorite tracks. Selecting a song felt like a personal moment, yet it created a communal experience for everyone listening. The The jukebox was more than a piece of furniture. It was a cultural icon, a time machine spinning melodies that captured the essence of a golden era in music and memories. Number 5. Skate keys. Long before inline skates and modern roller rinks, the 1950s and 60s had the charm of traditional roller skates, complete with an essential accessory, the skate key. This small metal tool was indispensable for tightening or adjusting skates to fit perfectly over regular shoes. Skaters would strap on leather-secured bases with a toe clamp, ensuring a snug fit. The skate key wasn't just practical, it became a fashion statement, often worn around the neck, ready for adjustments on the go. Roller skating back then wasn't just a pastime, it was an adventure that combined fun, socializing, and a touch of flair. Whether gliding down the block or spinning under disco lights, the skate key was the tiny hero that unlocked countless memories. For baby boomers, it symbolizes a time of simplicity and joy on wheels. Number 4. Green stamps. Collecting green stamps was more than a rewards program. It was a family ritual filled with anticipation and excitement. Baby boomers remember meticulously pasting the stamps into special booklets, earned through everyday purchases at gas stations and supermarkets. These stamps weren't just stickers, they were promises of rewards, from toasters to bicycles. Once enough were collected. Families eagerly flipped through catalogs, dreaming of the treasures their completed books would unlock. The joy wasn't just in redeeming the stamps, it was in the journey of collecting them, turning ordinary shopping trips into rewarding adventures. Though green stamps faded with the rise of modern loyalty programs, they remain a nostalgic emblem of an era when simple acts like pasting a stamp could lead to cherished family moments and the thrill of earned rewards. Number 3. Film cameras. Film cameras were the storytellers of a pre-digital age, capturing life's moments with precision and intention. For baby boomers, photography was an art that required skill, patience, and a touch of magic. Loading a roll of film, adjusting shutter speeds, and framing a shot were all deliberate actions that culminated in a single click. The anticipation of developing film added to the excitement, as each photograph became a tangible memory, immortalized on glossy paper. Cameras like the 35mm SLR allowed creative control, letting users experiment with lenses and exposures. Unlike today's endless streams of digital images, film photography carried weight. Each shot mattered. The process, from capturing to developing, created a connection between the photographer and their subject, making every image a treasure and every print a moment preserved forever. Number 2. The first home computers. The dawn of the home computer revolution in the late 1970s brought excitement and curiosity to baby boomers, who were the first to embrace these digital marvels. Leading the charge was the Apple II, a groundbreaking machine that introduced color graphics and expanded the possibilities of personal computing. Visionaries like Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak turned science fiction into reality, redefining how people worked and connected. For many families, owning a Commodore 64 or a similar device was a step into the future, a blend of innovation and learning. These early computers weren't just machines. They symbolized hope and progress, sparking imaginations and opening doors to endless possibilities. Decades later, they're remembered not just for their capabilities, but for the wonder they inspired, marking the start of the digital age. Number 1. Sunday morning cartoons. Sunday mornings in the 1950s and 60s were a magical time for baby boomers, filled with the joy of beloved cartoons like Scooby-Doo and the Flintstones. Kids would wake up early, cereal bowls in hand, ready to escape into whimsical animated worlds. The lineup included classics like Davy and Goliath, offering heartfelt lessons, or the claymation adventures of Gumby. While Saturday mornings had their own charm, Sundays offered a quieter, more intimate escape, before families headed to church or relaxed together. These cartoons weren't just entertainment, they were cherished rituals that brought families closer. The colorful characters and timeless humor remain etched in the hearts of boomers, reminding them of a simpler time when Sunday mornings were all about laughter, imagination, and the comforting glow of the TV screen. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating content like this. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Until next time, take care, and we'll see you soon.